Quick reminder, in this tutorial, we'll be using a hot glue gun, so please handle with care. Enjoy this free tutorial and follow along step by step. Alright, so we're going to fold trace this TMBC, which is basically torso mid-body cover, alright? Grab yourself a piece of grocery bag, paper stock, about 7 inches long this way. I wrote it up here, this is 7 inches long. It doesn't matter the top to bottom, just as long as it can fit this center fold right onto the bottom corner, and we got a lot of clearance up here. Roughly around 3.5 to 4 inches right here. We should know CF by now, it means center fold. We do have the legend in terms of what all the terms are, okay? We'll just go ahead and trace it out on the center fold like this here. Get all the markers all down the line. This is a crow's foot hinge, that's CF. And we should be good to go. Just a little update here. I wanted to cut this in here because this area right here I left in here. On the video moving forward, you'll see that this area got cut out, but we're actually in the new design, it should be left in. As you can see, I'm cutting this one cut. This little triangle right here, you can see that, that's being left in right there. I do design as I go sometimes. When I see something that's a lot better for the design, I kind of alter the plans here. As you can see, these marching ants here, I'm just going to quickly draw them on here because this is going to be painted on anyway. The less markings I can make on a final piece, the better, but since this is a video tutorial and this is going to be all covered up anyway, it doesn't matter. I just want you to be able to see all of my markings. Basically, these are folds. So let's go ahead and start with this marking all the way across these, I'll call these arrow feathers. The tip of the arrow feathers all the way across to this marking right here is a fold, right? That's going to be a fold. The bottom marker right here to this feather point marker, to this marker is going to also be a fold, so we're going to go right across. And of course the points of the arrows themselves are going to be a marker. That's a marker, this is a marker, that's actually going to be a one cut cutout. We'll get to that in a second, but we're going to go ahead and do kind of like a trifold basically, right? It's going to be something like this. Okay, something like that all the way down. And that's going to be important for these folds here. We can go ahead and fold this marker right down to that marker. That's also going to be a fold as well. We're going to bring that in, and that's going to be kind of like an optional fold. Everything looks good, everything looks traced. Now we can start thinking about getting it colored and getting it prepped for the next steps. This is more of like a clasp gap. This will come into play later, so we can actually put fold right here all along this right here. Because these are going to be turned into inside and outside clasp for the back. Crow toes, which is basically, it's a CFH, which is basically a crow's foot hinge right here. While we have it folded, because we're doing 2 for the price of 1, we're going to keep it folded and actually cut along the arrow feathers right here, right? And we're going to go ahead and just do one snip, trying to follow along both of these right here. It's not going to exactly match up to this feather point here or this feather point, but that's okay, just as long as we get it close enough. So now that we actually did both of those cuts here, we're going to go ahead and open it up just like you see here and go right down the middle, crow toe right here. Boom. Same thing right here. Doesn't exactly line up, but that's okay, just go along the fold here. We have something that looks like this, these crow toes. This right here is going to be kind of the same thing, except we're going to actually open this up. Okay, and I'm going to draw lines so that we understand what's going on here. And we're going to only do this on one side. This side is not going to be affected. Cut along those lines here, and cut along this third crow toe right here. Okay, and we only did it on one side, right? This side. Okay, where all the other crow toes are. And now that we've opened this up, let's go ahead and make everything kind of go the right way, which is actually, let's make sure we don't have any graphics on either side. So we don't have any graphics, everything looks good, so this can actually be the outside decoration. This side needs to match this side. So we can go opposite on both sides, like this. And this is going to go opposite because I've designated this is going to be the outer decoration layer. Okay, so we're looking good. Let's keep moving and grooving, okay? That's going to be our navy blue Sharpie. It's very recommended that you color it now that it's on a flat surface. Because if you start cutting and gluing and folding and molding and doing all this other stuff, it's going to be a lot harder to get this color into the cut grooves of this whole entire design here now. I'm going to go ahead and color this whole entire design, but I'm going to leave this midsection not colored. It's going to be a little bit harder for me to color later, but for the sake of the video, I just want to show you me coloring what I can on a flat surface. But again, you will want to color it all the navy blue color. Hopefully you're using Sharpie, because that's what I had in my house. And again, the whole part of this project is to use what you can. Do what you can with what you got and use whatever materials you have. And that was the challenge I made myself, was to use whatever I had. And I had this color, and I had a grocery bag paper stock, and that's why I wanted to have fun creating this whole entire project, right? We got this all colored up, and again I'm going to leave this midsection uncolored so I can visually teach you how to get through gluing and folding and molding. Okay, so this fold line right here is going to be the zipper seam. I'm going to fold this in half, kind of like a little block right here that goes all the way down. This imaginary line. We want to go ahead and fold this over just like this, right? And it's going to look like this all the way down. Now that we've put a tight, hard crease in there, we're going to open this up, and we have tri-folds now. We have a middle fold and then two side folds on the side. The middle fold we're going to suck in under, and keep in mind, obviously, the navy blue that you see is going to be the outside decoration, and of course this is all going to be glued on the inside. We've got this fold that kind of is mimicking like a zipper line. We're going to go ahead and put some glue right along this edge line right here, just on one side. Fold that over, and while it's drying, we're going to bend fold this kind of out like this. We don't want it to dry straight. We want it to dry with a little bit of a curve. Same thing with this bottom part. Go ahead and put a tiny pin drop of glue, just a little bit. Press this together and also put a little tiny bit of a curve. It doesn't have to be much, but enough to put that in place. We're going to go ahead and fold this in half just like that. Make sure that the bends are going to be moving and grooving like this, right? Can we see this is called an accordion fold, and it looks kind of like that. We're going to concentrate on, I'm going to try to quickly do this on a new piece here. I'm going to concentrate on the shoulder straps and the shoulder armpits. We're going to go ahead and strengthen up and curve out this area here. Specifically, I'm going to bring the rag cloth back on the scene. Cut yourself off a piece of rag cloth, 3 inches this way and 2 inches this way. Mark it up here so you can actually see it. Go ahead and put some glue right on the top of these two straps here. Take your hot glue gun, and we're just hot glue paper macheing it right on the top of this strap. I'm just going to go get it started, and I'm going to put it right on top there, pushing down really nice and firm. And then right here, same thing, and doing some hot glue paper mache with our rag cloth. Go ahead and stretch this out and make sure that that gets a good adhesion, and we're going to go ahead and just get that started. I'm doing this in parts because it dries fast here. And before I actually continue with this section right down here, I want to pay attention to this little lip right here. Bring our piece back onto the scene, and I'm talking about this specific piece right. See where the marching ants line right here is? That's going to be our marker. It's going to be the glue part of the tab. Take some glue right on the actual colored side, put a little thumbtack, very small amount of, we're going to go right along that marching ants perforated line, right? You can't really see it from this angle, but basically it's from this marker here all the way down to here. And I'm just pushing down on that, and I'm creating a little bit of a bubble or bulge. That's exactly what we want. And just so I can be a little bit more visually clear, I actually made the marching ant lines more of a solid line so we can actually follow it. So we're basically swiveling it down so that this line meets with this flush line like this. So we made this little bit of a bubble. I'm going to go ahead and push the mountain peak down right here. A sharp little mountain peak. Now that we've done that, go ahead and add some more support with our hot glue. Now we're going to want to be a little bit quick on this one here because it's hot and it might come up. Go ahead and quickly push that back down to where we actually glued it. I'm folding and molding and just making sure that that glue adheres to that section of it. And I'm going to go ahead and use the cloth or this area right here, finish off with the glue down on this underside of the rag cloth, right? I'm just finishing it up here around in that area. Now that we've done that, go ahead and start trimming off all this extra rag cloth. And the cool thing about this design is we can cut right around it, even cut into the design, get rid of all this extra rag cloth. Even if you cut a little bit off of the design, that's okay. And I'm going to leave a little bit extra for this part right here. I'm going to chop this off right around here. And chopping this off right here. I did that because we want this tiny little triangle to meet up under it, and it's going to fold in like this. Once we're ready to fold it up, it's going to fit right around the armpit socket. So let's go ahead and just do a little bit more gluing right here. I'm going to go ahead and just add some glue, just smearing it on like peanut butter, right? Yep, just pushing that on down to Chinatown and getting that all good to go. We can even bring our parchment paper in on the seam. Okay, and we can actually cut off a little bit of this extra right here. And we are good to go. Now, I'm only going to show you this side on camera. Just kind of rinse and repeat on this same side with 3x2 inch piece of rag cloth. So get yourself some rag cloth, an old t-shirt, an old sock. You want to add this because we're going to have a lot of articulation in the arms here. And the more we move it, the more tendency it might tend to tear, especially around in the armpit area. So that's the reason why we're doing this. So let's keep moving and grooving. I'm not doing this one right now. We'll get to this one later. It's going to be a lot easier for me to just do the rest on the outside here. Stretching this out and just getting all this rag cloth right on top of this upper shoulder strap right here. Sometimes it's a lot easier if you stretch it out and go right along the deeper inner parts of the scissor blades. We can glue this little triangle right there. We can put some glue right there. Stretch that out and pow. Kelly Kapowski. And that's looking really good. Let's add a little bit more here. I've done both of these sides right here. What we want to do is hot glue paper mache the exposed areas. We want to turn all this extra stuff into paper leather. Alright, because again, this is going on the torso and we're going to have a lot of movement and mobility and articulation. So we want to add some more paper leather support on the exposed parts that is just grocery bag paper stock, right? We're just putting that extra layer of thickness onto it. Again, we can just leave it like that. It can dry in like a little spaghetti noodles like that, or just push the parchment paper down onto it and let it smooth out and make it thin like plastic. Thin plastic. I see that made a little bit of a softer, smoother texture. Love the parchment paper. The paper lets it dry fast. So that is hot glue paper macheing at its best. And the end result is this. Made this chest-like sculpture from the little under armpit tabs that we glued up. And it looks like this. If you can imagine, this is where the chest is. Now, as you can see, we have these crow toes peeking through. The crow's foot hinge, the CFH. If you can see these little crow toes kind of pointing up to the sky, that's what we're talking about. And these are going to actually link on each part of each side here. These little tiny little pieces of ragged cloth, it's probably about 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. Not even an inch, just very small little pieces. Cut yourself off little tiny pieces roughly this size, okay? So basically what happens is when we accordion this in, right, we can see that we kind of accordion this in, and we'll flip this back over. These two little toes, these little crow toes, kind of clip into the side panel right here. If we bend it up like this, we can actually lock these toes in and make this round accordion kind of effect, right? Just to give you a better visual representation, this is what we'll be doing. You can actually use a finger or a thumb to bring these crow toes back, pinch it closed, pinch on both sides and let it lock up, and the toes will close up on itself just like that, causing this curve here. And that's exactly what's happening underneath the rag cloth. See that little curve? So what we are going to do is on either side of the crow toe right here, if we can see, I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue right here on this side and right here on this side. And I'm going to take one of our rag cloth pieces and place it right on top where I put the glue, and on both sides of the channel pinch that down so that glue really dries on in there. And that's going to dry pretty fast, believe it or not. I'm going to move this back and these crow toes should come back with it. Check that out. I'm going to put some glue right on the croto tabs, right here, and right onto the rag cloth here. Go ahead and pinch this canal closed like this. I'm going to shift these crotos over the little lip, the little hump right here, and I'm going to bend this up, and I'm going to pinch these crotos together like that. It's probably going to dry pretty quickly here because the cloth actually makes the hot glue dry quicker. I'm going to turn this over, and as you can see, it kind of interlocked. I'm going to push these mountain peaks down, and it kind of closed off that little middle croto here. Let's go ahead and continue, and I'm going to now do this one here. Crotos right here, right? Can we see that? Go ahead and put a small little dab of glue right here, pin drop of glue right here, and take our secondary piece and put it exactly on top where we put the glue. Grab it on over on each side, and we're going to pinch that. Notice I'm like pinching this canal closed too as well underneath my fingers. We're going to pull this tab back. The crotos are going to come back with it. So now again we want to add some tiny pin drops of glue right on the crotos right here and right here. Also on the rag cloth in the back here. Go ahead and pinch this canal closed. And we're going to shove that right down in between the crotos like this. With our finger, we're compressing the toes together with the rag cloth on top. I'm going to let that settle in for a few more seconds. I don't mind the heat. Honestly, it doesn't hurt very much. If you want to bring in your trusty parchment paper to assist, you can do that. I've been doing so many of these that it doesn't matter anymore. Flip this over so you can see the effects of this. We have a little bit of well out, but that's okay. We pick away the dried up plastic. Can you see the sharp mountain peak? We want to go ahead and get rid of those. I'm pushing in with my fingers, and as you can see, it's making this accordion effect come together on both the middle and the side here. Okay, and we're just going to continue on down the line on both sides here. I'm going to do one more since I cut one more, and I'll probably do the rest off camera. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right behind the crotos, just barely pushing on the trigger. Take our rag cloth right here, pinch it right down on the back side of the crotos, just getting that all settled in like this. And again, they're behind the crotos, not in front. Pull this little tab back. If they don't, just kind of put a thumb in there. See how it's like popping up now? Put a little bit of glue on the crotos right here, on this one here, and right on the back of this cloth right here. Pinch this canal closed, put the crotos right down in the middle of the canal, and then really push this cloth right down over the crotos and onto the upper part of the canal, like that. And it should, again, dry pretty quickly. I'm going to cut this off just so that we can visually see it better. And as you can see, as we're doing this, it's causing it to curve because this is going to actually wrap around the waist. This is flat side and this is now a curved side. So if we do the crotos on this side, which I'll do off camera, it's going to like actually wrap around. Pretty cool, pretty fun. And I'm going to do the rest off camera, but yeah, that's what we want to do. Let's keep moving and grooving. Ab support for the bottom part of the torso. This is the top part, and of course I didn't color this to help with the separation of what is what. The top part of the torso, this is the bottom ab, so the ab support is going to be on the inside of this bottom piece right here. Find a piece that looks like this airplane looking piece right here, and we're going to do a fold trace and fold cut. I already did it on a piece of cardboard. I just open it up and it should look like this. Food box cardstock cardboard, not grocery bag paper stock, needs to be very rigid to support the bottom ab. I'm not going to show you how I fold trace and fold cut because by now we should already know how to do that, okay? Assuming that you've already found that piece and you did a fold trace, fold cut, find the middle and fold it in half so that the cardboard side is going to be in the middle of this piece right here. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of glue in the middle. And on the underside, I wanted to point out, you probably have an arrow for the center. Obviously, it's going to be the center fold, but you might have an arrow actually pointing up. The curved side is actually going to be facing down towards the feet, while the more straighter part is going to be going towards the head, okay? And find the middle of the jacket, the zipper side. On the other side, we're going to match up fold to fold. Right in the middle, making sure that the bottom edge line doesn't overlap or go over this bottom edge line here. And we're just starting with the middle so that we can work in to out. It's going to be a lot easier to fold and mold and make this curve happen whichever side we start on, because we got this loose side and this loose side. Might as well just start on this side. And let's go ahead and just add some glue right? Smearing on the glue. I'm going to just stretch this out and fold and mold along the support. And what I mean by that is while it's drying, I'm putting some curve into it so it'll naturally curve around the body. And as it dries, it'll keep that form, and that's exactly what we want. Just kind of finish it up right here with the very end. Do it like a half trigger pump of glue and smearing it on the cardboard. And notice again, the shiny side is not the side being glued. Okay, it's 360. Paste it on with some pressure, and we're putting curve into it. We're using our fingers to fold and mold. See how we made that curve around as it dried? And that's really what we needed to do. Let's go ahead and concentrate on this side. Go ahead and open this up. Put some glue in here. Just get it on in there. When we put force onto it and we pinch it close, glue is going to really spread out underneath and really cause it to grip onto each part of the cardboard while we let it fold, mold, and curve it around to shape this waist. See how it's all like rigid? That's really what we want. Yeah, we're almost done. Let's go ahead and add some glue right onto this part right here. That was a half trigger pump of glue, smearing it on. We're going to tack that on to the grocery bag paper stock. And then we're going to go ahead and fold it and mold it and bend it around. See what I'm doing? I'm using all my fingers to really put some curve into that. As it dries, it's going to stay just exactly how we want it to stay. And we have these back tabs loose because those are going to come in handy later. They're going to be our clasp tabs, and we'll get to that in just a moment here. But we just want to make sure that we have a lot of support on this bottom part. Okay, I'm going to color this off camera and just get that all settled in and everything else like that. But we want this accordion piece too to keep its form. This is pretty important. We want that as well, okay, because we want him to be able to bend his body. Let's add some bottom jacket pockets that need to go right here, okay? You're going to see a design in your templates that looks like this, alright? Actually, it might look like this. Real simple, fold trace, fold cut. As you know, you can do one yourself real easy with the center fold, but it should look like this once you unravel it. Might be called flight jacket pocket spacer. What we're going to go ahead and do is this little arrow point is going to go right towards the bottom of the chest, right here, lining it up. This flat piece should go flush right on the bottom of this ab section right here. Just place it right here. Keep in mind that the middle center fold and this point should be going right along the middle part of the zipper so that each slit on each side is evenly spaced from the zipper line. And we're going to follow these little lines right here, these little slits. I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors and just make a slit right here. And just keeping it right on to this design, I'm going to go ahead and make a slit right here with my scissors. Could have made two little slits for pockets, right? Now all we're going to do really is take our wire nippers, and right next to it, probably about a couple millimeters, we're gonna nip a slot out. Okay, and same thing on this side. We're gonna nip a little slot out right on the cardboard. Just enough so that we can see that they become little pockets, right? So when it actually does go on to the action figure, right on top here, it'll look like pockets. We can take our marker here and color the inside right here, just to cover up the white cardboard. Just a little bit. Do it on this side as well. And there we go. So we made little tiny pockets, just a couple slits. You can add little pocket flaps if you want, but this world we live in is just a simple world. They look like side pockets. Let's move and groove. Let's go ahead and add the internal foam chest skeletal piece that looks like this. If you haven't done that part of the video or tutorial, go there now and go ahead and create this out of pink foam from Home Depot. I'm going to take this piece right here. Of course, it's going to be the inside of this upper part here. Go ahead and take this off the camera here. Take the vertebrae wire joint here. Stick this underneath the middle vertebrae hole right here. Kind of slides up and down here, okay? And there's a purpose for that because we want to go ahead and adjust this to the height of what this character is going to be. I've done this so many times that I kind of know this is going to be about 1/4 of an inch of vertebrae peeking out right here at the bottom of the chest here. keep in mind, as you can see, we can go ahead and shift this up and down according to how tall or short we want our action figure to be. So if we go closer to the eye loop, the action figure is going to be taller, and if we go closer down to here, it's going to be a little shorter. Now it looks kind of weird and you think, okay, well, the proportion's not going to be right. Trust me, the proportions are going to be okay once you get the whole entire action figure together. Since I know what to do here, I'm going to go ahead and keep it right around there. And just for the sake of the video, I know that there's a little bit of blue Sharpie that got onto here, so I'm going to actually use a black Sharpie. Hopefully that'll help you see it on camera. And I'm going to go ahead and mark where I know the bottom of the chest is going to be, which is right around there. Okay? I don't know if you can differentiate the black from the blue here, but that's where it's going to be. Keep in mind, you can also use your handy ruler to measure out the measurements. Now this is a little bit more than a quarter, that's a quarter of an inch, so it's about right there. So I can go ahead and remove this. I've got some melamine here. By now we should know what melamine is. This is 2 inches this way and about 1 inch this way, okay? We want to unwrap the grip tip part of it. This one doesn't have grip tip, but I was going to put one in later. But this singular wire, we want to undo this. We should be able to separate it just like this. What I'm going to go ahead and do is slip this melamine in between that wire, going all the way down to the bottom where the black mark meets. And this is about a quarter of an inch this way. We're going to go ahead and relock this in here, and because we are going to wrap this right around just like this. I'm just dry fitting it right now, but that's what we're going to want to do. While we have this gap here, we're going to go ahead and right on the melamine, just put a little strip of glue. We're going to go ahead and lock this in. Do want to avoid putting glue onto the wire because we don't want to weaken that wire. We just want it on the melamine itself. And as you can see, it's kind of locking in. So right when we go around here and we see the wire disappearing, we can go ahead and put a strip of glue, and we're going to roll this on in here, and we're finally going to just go ahead and lock this in right about here. We are applying some good pressure onto this while we roll it, and we're going to go ahead and let it lock in and dry for about 7 seconds. And that was actually about 7 seconds, so I can probably let go. It's all locked in. It's locked around the wire joint, wrapped around the whole melamine itself. Go ahead and grab our piece. To reiterate, the deeper canyon piece is the top part of the chest where the neck's going to be. And below that, we have the more flush part, which is the bottom, going towards the bottom part of the body. Alright, so let's go ahead and plop this in here. We're going to just twist it and let it kind of screw onto this melamine. And that's the reason why we have the straw bone inside, because the straw gives a little bit of slickness to help get this melamine down in there. Now, once we know that we're down in there, we're going to kind of try to get this melamine down flush to the bottom here. And as we can see, we have melamine popping from the top, and from the bottom we see visually it's popping out. And that's a good thing, because we want to add some glue right around the melamine onto foam. And let's go ahead and grab parchment paper, and we're going to go ahead and put some glue right around the foam and the melamine. We are avoiding as much as we can putting it on the wire itself. We're going to bring the parchment paper back in and to help assist the drying process with the melamine onto the purple foam. And we're going to go ahead and pull that back, and that should be good. We're going to also do the back here. We're going to bend this forward and just do the back. Quarter trigger pump of glue right onto the melamine and the foam. Taking our parchment paper, and we're going to go ahead and push down and just pat and rub and just fold and mold that glue in there as it dries, just like that. The more you rub too, the more it cools down and dries quicker, just to let you know. And we can go ahead and peel that back. That's feeling pretty good. Let's go ahead and deal with this top part here. Put a small tack of glue right here, right on the front. Bring our parchment paper back, rubbing that in like that, cooling it down, letting it dry. It's a little bit sticky, but that's okay. I want to let it dry a little bit longer, but for the sake of the video, I'm just moving fast, alright? And we're going to bend this back, and we can do the back part here. Just a little bit of glue. And as you can see, it's also welding into the little straw bone plant leaves. We really want this glue to kind of bond in there. And that's looking pretty good too. Okay, notice again we did avoid putting glue onto the wire joints. We want to avoid that, at least for this part of the video. So we just added the internal chest piece, the foam chest piece, and now we can continue and add the rest. Blue fingers, everybody. Oh geez. This lower part of the chest feels a little bit weak to me. There's like, it's just weak in certain areas, and I want to strengthen that up because that's going to be a core part of the gluing process. Cut yourself out a piece of rag cloth. This is about 1 by 1 inch. That's all it is. Concentrate on the middle part of this chest right here. Just add some glue. And it was actually a full trigger pump of glue right here, right now. Put this rag cloth right here onto this middle section. Leave it like this and kind of push on it. Bring our parchment paper on the scene. I can't find my smaller piece, but got the larger piece. And I'm going to go ahead and just fold and mold and see how I'm kind of pinching it in the middle while it dries. I'm going to take this parchment paper off the scene, bring this back over, and fold and mold on this side as well. Just keep going until you feel like you've added enough strengthening of the glue on all sides here. Bring the parchment paper back on the scene and fold and mold. It is helping with the heat. I can still feel the heat, but you know, it is strengthening up the middle part of this chest. The reason why I wanted to make this a little bit more stiffer was because this is, again, this was going to be an integral part when we actually glue it onto the chest here, and it was just caving in too much here. If you want, totally optional, just go around all these edges here and just adding more glue and using your parchment paper just to kind of strengthen it up. Let's keep moving and grooving.